Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe. I know you people have not been subscribing because I've not been posting a lot of video, but it's fine. We're just going to I have lots of things that I'm doing right now, and very soon I'll be posting more videos. So wives, do you still correct your husbands? Husbands, do you still correct your wives? If the answer is yes, then you're wrong. You want to know why? Come along, let's gist. Welcome back. You know, correction is one of the things that causes issues in our marriages, in our relationships. When we try to correct our spouses, when you try to correct your husband, or husband when you try to correct your wife, if you notice, you find out that most times it turns into argument, and you know why it's like that. The reason is, your husband or your wife is not a child. You only correct a child. For example, you have a child that is running around the house. Of course, you tell the child to stop. You correct the child that, okay, if you don't stop, you're going to fall down. And if you fall down, I'm going to beat you, or I'm not going to, attend to you. You do that just to make sure that the child stops running around the house. That is correction. So, but in the case of your spouse, you do not correct. Instead of correcting your spouse, you should have the confidence to be able to give your perspective on issues. I'm going to say it again. Instead of you correcting your spouse, have the confidence to give your perspective on issues. For example, many years ago, I was at a wedding with my husband. And then I was still courting my husband, and we went for this wedding. And the pastor turned to the man and said, "Mr. Man, if your wife cooks for you and the food is salty, instead of you correcting her and saying, this food is salty, next time you have to watch the way you put the salt, you should tell her that, oh, my darling, I think the salt they are doing these days is too sharp. So I think we should just watch the way we use it. Only God knows what they put in the salt." And everybody laughed. But the truth is this: that man actually nailed it. Because instead of you, because most of the times when we try to correct ourselves, it turns into argument. And from arguments, you sometimes you end up not talking to yourself for some hours or for some days. And at the end of the day, when you look back, you just even wonder why all this. So for us to avoid having regular issues, we should be able to give our perspective on issues rather than correcting our husbands. Because come to think of it, you didn't marry a child. You married a full-grown adult. That when you give your perspective on any issues, the person will automatically self-correct. You self-correct when you learn something. You self-correct when you get an opinion from another person. So it is the best It is the best thing to do, to give your perspective to your husband, to give your perspective to your wife, rather than trying to correct them. Rather than always saying, oh, why are you doing this? Don't do this. When you do this, it shouldn't be this way. Of course, when you do that, arguments will definitely start. And that is one of the things that creates friction in relationship. Let me give you another example. Like if you have a wife that is a perpetual food burner, some of us women, we can burn food for the whole world. Some of us, when we cook, it's just in our system. It's not deliberate. We will burn the food, shani. But as a man, instead of you to always walk up to your wife and say, why you should not, you should be more careful, why next time you have to pay attention to what you're cooking so that this thing will not get burnt, blah blah blah. Instead of doing that, give your perspective on why, okay, she should do it this way. Okay, like for example, you can say, oh, my darling, I know it's not easy. You're always busy. Sometimes you're tired because of what you do. You have a lot on your plate. So it's just better, when you're cooking, maybe you just reduce the gas and then you can do other things that you're doing, or you wait, for me to come back and then we do it together. Or what do you think? Because when we do it like this will not happen. That's your perspective. Not correcting her. Another example is if you have wives, if you have a husband that is always coming into the house and dropping his shirt everywhere in the sitting room, rather than shouting and saying, why would you drop your shirt here? You're not supposed to do that. Don't you think the whole place will look rough? You only do that to your child, not a full-grown adult. You married an adult. So when you give your perspective on why he shouldn't do that, it will self-correct. So it is wise for us to always have the confidence to give our perspectives on issues rather than to try and correct our spouses all the time. Because it will definitely create some kind of friction. Correction is meant for children. Giving perspectives on issues is the best way to deal with our husbands, our wives, rather than correcting them. And I hope this is clear enough. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is just what I've come to tell you this morning. And on that note, I want to say thank you again. Enjoy yourself and have a blessed day. Bye, everyone.